Hey everyone, hope everybody's enjoying their day today. Mine has been productive. It's a Sunday and it's been productive, so I'm happy about that. Went to the gym. I'm in the middle of a 12-week workout plan, and so I'm a third of the way. I just hit that third of the way mark today, and feeling good. I gotta say, it feels good to be consistent, and I think a lot about how much more results there is with consistency and working out. Going to the gym is a good way to be able to gauge that, how much consistency really adds to success, which leads me kind of to my next thought, because I've been just thinking today, as usual, and I was thinking about what success means to me. And I know I've had videos on this in the past, and we can kind of go through our days and nothing seems to change, but things do change. You can look back 6 months ago. Were you doing the same thing you're doing now? Like, have you evolved? Have you grown? Have you gone downward? Are you stagnant? Did you learn a lot 6 months ago and now you're kind of bringing it together and it's turning into new things? I think the aim is, and everybody has their own idea of what success means to them. And I've narrowed it down for myself. And for me, success is when my thoughts, my actions, and my beliefs are in alignment. So it's like establishing those core values. Like, these are my core values, and then establishing them like daily habits that meet those core values, that serve that, that adds that fulfillment. And it just feels so good to have that consistency when you're in flow. But it's easy to get fallen off too. We live in this world of just complete distraction. So finding that balance is just really, it's a fine line. And I know I find myself off of it. I found myself off of it for sure. And so, yeah, it just kind of goes into this whole, the way we're connected, the way that we're connected with the use of the internet, and how we can share information, and how the internet makes every little thing that's happened into a much grander, bigger thing. As soon as it's posted there, then it's a whole new thing, that people can get really hooked on and caught up on. And I do, for sure. And it's just all very interesting. I am back and forth in my head so much at what level of awareness I need to have as to what's happening, like on the day-to-day in the world, like on the global scale. Is that serving me to know what's happening, or is it not? And it's kind of like slipping into these different worlds. I know I had this realization at one point, and I remember it so distinctively. It actually woke me up out of bed when I was thinking about it. This was a long time ago. It was like a year ago when I had this realization that there's like this whole, and this was during the C word time, where it just felt like, okay, like, here we go. Like, but during that time, I just was like, okay, like, all that going on in the news, all that going on with these mandates, this stuff going on, that's kind of like, you don't have to, well, you do, but that's the whole thing. Like, you don't have to follow it, and you don't have to be caught up in that world. We don't have to be caught up on dwelling on it. But then again, you have to go along with these mandates or whatever may be going around, and have that ideal level of awareness as to what's happening in the world to be able to make decisions that are going to protect you, I guess, if you're dependent on what's going to come of the world and what's maybe ahead. And so, yeah, I kind of go back and forth on finding that balance of consuming information, and it does benefit. I do believe it benefits to understand and know like what's happening so that you're well aware. But there's a fine line between where it's consuming and where it's bringing your level down of just happiness and fulfillment. And the one thing that, that I really think we shouldn't allow ourselves to be taken away from us is to be happy and content and fulfilled every day. But without turning that blind eye still. It's like this fine line between ignorance is bliss and being so wrapped up in it that you can't live your day-to-day life. And so it's just interesting. I had that realization that you don't have to, like, this is kind of this whole world that's just in the midst of all this chaos and war and corruption. And we're kind of just like bystanders to this whole thing happening. But we're like forced to partake in it. I don't know. It's just all very bizarre. It's a bizarre world, and there is a lot happening. And I guess what I'm just trying to say is I think it's really important to be prepared and to have an understanding of what's going on, but to not be consumed and to not just fill our minds with fear. Because there are ways, to be prepared best we can. For me, that means building that strong foundation. Nobody can take away, my physical strength. That's something I'm building. Even if it's not financially, like if you don't have the wealth, you don't have financial wealth and stability, it's because that's a helpless feeling when you don't have that financial stability. But one thing that we can do is build our foundation strong and be strong individuals and free thinkers. And those are things that don't cost money. And they're things that can't be taken away from us if we're lucky. And that's where, I'm big on books. Like I have my couple right here, Think and Grow Rich. Okay, we have Think and Grow Rich. Everybody's probably read this if you're watching this. The Motivation Manifesto by Brendon Burchard. Books are so incredible and they're life-changing. And, I think about this because it's just the power of words. Like these people, Brendon Burchard I just went to actually one of his summits, his influencer summit. And he was like on like couch surfing. The reason why he changed his life around was because he was sleeping under his girlfriend at the time's, or she was sleeping under his bills. And he was a writer. He was going to write, wanted to write books and wanted to, have his success. But he didn't have that momentum. So what did he do? He writes this Motivation Manifesto book, becomes incredibly successful. And now he's an inspiration leader, a thought leader, very wealthy. He's doing really well for himself. And it's the power of what he's just created and it's absolutely extraordinary. It's extraordinary to me, and I love books for that reason, because they're words and they're ideas, and all we have to do is embrace that and take it and harness it and create our own thing from it. And that's how we can create our own wealth. And it's fascinating to me. And it's just important to remember that we have these like tools, like these are tools. The internet is even a tool. And anything that's a tool can also be used as a weapon. And I think that's one thing that we're seeing. I'm like trying to find my place in all of this that's happening in the world on this global scale I'm like, am I just getting old now to the point where I'm now paying attention to politics? Like I never thought I would pay attention to politics. And now I'm sitting here learning about finance and I'll have these thoughts. I'm like, am I just getting old? Like, has this always been happening? And I'm like, no. There's some things really happening here that we need to be aware of. Like, and, we do need to take action, and we do need to have understanding and learning about finance. Now's the time. If you don't know a lot, like I didn't know a year ago, I've learned so much over this last year about finance and how, like, what is happening, and how that will impact every single person on the globe. And it's just have to have that awareness. have to learn, have to build ourselves up and build our foundations. And for me, that means getting in alignment as well, and becoming strong and becoming a thought leader and becoming just a creator of my own thoughts, and not getting stuck in patterns and habits that aren't serving me and that aren't aligned with my core beliefs and values. I think that once we're in alignment, I truly feel that once we are in alignment, that's when we can serve others. And many people do need it. And we all from time to time need that motivation, or we need that kind of kick to get moving and motivated. So I think that that's what the world is really lacking. I always bring it back to self-mastery, is just, once we master ourselves, and I'm nowhere self-mastered, I'm not telling you that I am, but I'm striving to be. That's the goal, I guess, in my life, is to master myself, and in every area of my life. I think that that's something that is worth focusing on. So I think that once that's achieved, and really getting to that root of that problem there for the individuals, and that's how we can build ourselves up, then it creates this less of a need to create drama, and it creates less of a need to place blame on people for judging, or you're confident, you can build that confidence in ourselves. And we have a lot of people who are just very sensitive in our world, to where we're now almost bound by law to tiptoe around certain phrases, certain words. We can't speak freely, and that's dangerous. It's dangerous because it's allowing us to disown ourselves, and abandon our thoughts as to what they are true to us, and that does affect us just being able to evolve as individuals. So I don't know, I'm getting way off. I know I'm getting way off, but those are just my thoughts today. I'm continuing on. I'm kind of been going through this information detox, because when I've been the happiest and when I've been the most productive, it's from this type of stuff. It's from this. It's not from the news, and it's not from the media. And this is the kind of stuff that will create new things, when we get many people in the world who are wanting to learn and create, as we are seeing, all around. I think we are. Hard to gauge. Seems like we are. Like, there's a lot of progress in the world. At least, I don't know what's going on. But anyways, those are my thoughts for the day. And if you're still here, thanks for listening. And I hope that you've taken something from this video, and can use it in your day, or use it for momentum, to be your own thought leader and to create your own path. So that's my message, and I will see you guys all in the next video.